Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're here at Target House, which is part of St. Jude here in Memphis. So we're going to have a little bit of background noise with this, with Poplar Avenue here, pretty busy road, but we'll make it through it. But today on this video, what I wanted to do was give you guys a real quick review on a brand new hook design that Hayabusa is coming out with for the bass market in July at ICAST. And I'm really excited about this hook because one of the things that has always been a little bit frustrating with hook designs out there is that when it comes to offset shank hook designs, like the traditional round bend and the EWG style hooks, you either go with the narrow gap or you go with the extra wide gap. There's not a whole lot in the middle for you to choose from. And that's kind of disappointing because there's a lot of baits that are too they're too wide for the round bend, but they're also too narrow for the EWG. And usually I'll kind of err on the side of the EWG because more gap is better than not enough gap when it comes to choosing a hook for a soft plastic bait. For instance, usually my whole thought process behind the gap on a hook that I'm choosing for a bait is that I want the gap of the hook to be about twice the width of the bait that I'm using. But I'll give you an example of a really good bait that I love to throw, a soft plastic stick bait, like the Z-Man Zinkers. That is a bait that it's narrower than a lot of baits out there, right? But it still kind of falls right in the middle range, all right? So it's not quite the thinness of a like finesse worm, but it's also not like a big tube or something like that, a big creature bait. And so it's like right in the middle. And so I tend to use like an EWG style hook for that category of worm. And the problem is it always feels wrong to me. It just has too much gap. And to me, I think that, and this is debatable. I have a lot of people debating me about line shy fish. I don't think that fish are line shy all the time, but I do think that there are situations, especially ultra clear water, where those fish are using their sense of sight to really decipher whether it's a presentation they want to eat or not. I really do think that fish do get line shy sometimes, but I also think they get hook shy too. And if you have a hook that is so much bigger than the body of the bait and it's detracting from the overall natural profile of the presentation, I think that could reduce the amount of bites that you get in a day. And I always felt like that was an issue with my stick baits paired with EWG hooks, but it was a concession I kind of had to make. All right, so let's introduce the solution for situations like that. This right here is the WRM 971, also known as the crossbred from Hayabusa. This is kind of Hayabusa's answer to those baits that fall in the middle as far as thickness, all right? So things like stick baits, like we just talked about, soft plastic jerk baits, even though they're pretty wide-bodied, most of them have a pretty heavy or prominent hook slot. We're gonna wait real quick to finish this thought until this ambulance passes us. All right, so in a third bait design that really pops to mind, and I'm sure that I'll find more that will work well with this hook. A third design though that immediately just comes to mind is those creature baits that, though with the appendages all included, they're pretty bulky and big, but if just the body of the bait itself is kind of like moderately width. So things like the Z-Man boar hogs or just a brush hog in general, that is a big time popular category of creature baits that has like a body design that's about this thick. It's not like a big giant tube, width, but it's big bulky because of the appendages, but the body itself pretty slender, kind of mid-size. Those are the three different categories of soft plastics that I'm really just seeing so much potential for using with the Hayabusa 971. All right, so let's real quick go through some of the design qualities that jump out at me. The first one is that the wire of the hook is kind of like middle of the pack. You know, it's not quite a light wire, but it's definitely not like a heavy duty like the 959. It's going to be really good for light to moderate cover, and it's going to be a really good you know, wire diameter for fishing a wide variety of you know, pound test rating line. So like it could be used, just looking at it, this hook I could use with 8-pound test, but I could also use up to like 15-pound test and feel very confident that this this hook wouldn't straighten out. But again, with any hook that you're using, you need to match the wire diameter to the type of tackle you're using and to the drag settings that you have on your reel, whether it's spinning reel or bait casting, which is a good point. I think this is going to be a good hook for both spinning and casting gear overall. Again, just not heavy duty you know, hook. Another thing that kind of factors into the strength of this hook, it says in the catalog that the bend was designed to have a really good impact strength, so to resist straightening out. So that is going to add to your ability to really, you know, drive the hook home, set the hook, and be confident that this hook isn't going to straighten out, which is a really good thing. And you know, with an EWG, one of the weaknesses is that it does have more you know, capability to straighten out if you're using too heavy a gear. So I think being middle of the road is lending itself to making this a more durable hook overall for the line or the wire diameter that they're using. Another thing that I really like about this design is that the hook point, okay, the hook point is not directly in line with the eye of the hook. So I feel like whenever you have a offset shank hook like that, if you have the point perfectly in line with the line tie, I think that you just don't grab as much when you set the hook. You know, you don't grab as much of the fish's mouth when you set the hook. So this is going to increase your hooking percentage no matter what, you know, offset shank hook you're using. I think that that's a big design quality that you want to look for. Other than that, another thing that's really special about this hook is Hayabusa's proprietary NRB coating. So they put this NRB coating on it, which is kind of like a Teflon type material or coating, reduces the amount of friction. All right, so when you go to set the hook, not only do you have a ultra sharp point on there, but you have a very slick finish on it, so it's going to reduce the amount of pressure required to, you know, drive that hook home. Another thing that the NRB coating does is that it reduces rust. So those two things combined make you know, make for a really great quality of this hook. So anyways, guys, that is my review of this brand new hook that I'm really excited about, because I've been looking for something that's in the middle between those two popular hook designs of round and EWG hooks. But this is going to be it. So if you guys have any questions, or if you have some baits that you think that this hook, the crossbred, is going to work perfect with, drop a comment below. I want to hear what baits you want to throw with this hook when it comes out. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm going to see you out on the water. Always trust the process.